this is Graham, also known as the Collector 75, and welcome back to another Transformers review. Right, for this review I'm going to be continuing with my Energon combiners. We're going to move on to the Energon CONSTRUCTICON MAXIMUS, or I actually have the Japanese version. Let me just show you the box here. Here he is, also known as just in Japan as Buildron. This guy was a Toys R Us exclusive. I think at the time when I got this, well, I think he came out in about 2005, something like that. I was trying to find, see if there's got a copyright number on there. 2004. This is the time I was actually trying to get every Transformer that came out, and especially if it was an exclusive like this. At the time these guys weren't released in the US, and I wasn't actually sure that they would be, considering this was supposed to be like a Toys R Us exclusive to Japan. As you can see, it comes with the number there, EX01. On the back is much like the, I can't remember his name, Bruticus Maximus's box, just showing all the different transformation styles, and of course the little sort of like battle scene up in the corner there. Other than that, not much to say about the box. Yeah, let's move on to the figures. Now then, we're going to start here. I've got all their names written down because I always forget them. This one is just Bone Crusher. He is, of course, just transforms into, can't actually remember what the actual name of this guy is. I think it's like a power shovel or something like that. I can never remember. Sure someone out there will tell me. Anyway, it's pretty good. All the wheels turn really well. What else can we say about this? Was it the shovel at the front? Has got some good articulation. Absolutely brilliant there. It's got a nice little Decepticon insignia, sort of like, don't know if you won't pick it out just in there. Pretty damn good. It's got a nice little blue translucent windscreen. Overall, it's actually a very good dump truck, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, very, very good. I do like this. Some of these figures do range between the good and the shit, in my opinion, but there we go, that's just my opinion. This is, of course, the other figure from the set, which is just the recolor. This one is called Sledge. I think in Japan he was called Scrapper. At least they retain their sort of like the original G1 names in Japan. Now this is, of course, him with the Energon sort of like weapons attached. As you can see, this one just this blue translucent bit just attached at the back. And I don't know exactly what it's supposed to do in this mode, but it's more like a grabber, so you can reverse into stuff and grab stuff, I suppose. Other than that, it's not really doing a lot. And of course, there's the Energon star. That's where you would attach it in this mode. Yeah, again, same articulation for this guy. Let me just show you all around him. As you can see, the wheels on this one are sort of like been given silver hubcaps there, whereas this guy's just got brown ones. Right, these guys basically just have the same transformation. So again, I'll just transform one of each. This is not transforming both, but I'll take pictures so you can see them. No problem. Right, so we start off at the back here. We just move these back wheels up basically. There's a small little peg just here, and this will, of course, as you move it up, will just sort of like fit into a little hole like that. And it'll end up in that position. It will lock in. Again, do the same on this one. Let me just show you there. Like that, and it will just fit in basically. Not a problem at all. Right, the next thing we do is then we disconnect these legs like this, because they're just pegged in, and fold them out like that. This is, of course, going to be the legs and the torso section. Then what we're going to do, we are then going to raise the front shovel up and just fold it around. Ready? Like that. And then take the front wheels and just fold them up like so, and into position. Then we come down to the bottom here. This entire section will just sort of like fold round like so, and then this bit has a little tab here and a little connector just up there, and that just rotates round, snaps into position. Then we rotate the waist section 180, and that is almost done. As you can see, it's looking pretty good now. Then we just fold down the little arms and the shoulders, just open out the little arms like that. Fold that down, that snaps into position. Again, we just fold out the little arms. They don't want to come out for some reason, they're very tight. Always good. It snaps into position. There we go. And then we just rotate the little head round like that. And he is a pretty damn good robot, actually. He's probably the best figure out of this set, as far as I'm concerned. Pretty good. I love the little Decepticon that's moulded in on there. He's got great articulation in these legs and the arms. He really does look like a little thug, which is pretty good. I do like him. Definitely the figure of the set. Then you get the Energon Weapons. I'll take some pictures at the end so you can see exactly what. But the only way I can sort of fit these on in this mode is in a hand. And I don't know what he's doing with that. I suppose you do some gardening with it or something like that if you wanted to. And again, you would just put the Energon star, just fit that over that on the back there. But other than that, it's not really doing much. So that was Bone Crusher, and of course his counterpart, Sledge. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next figures, which is one of the worst of this set, to be honest. This is Dust Storm. I don't know what his Japanese name was. But is this Dust Storm? No, it's not. Yes, it is actually. This is Dust Storm. Yeah, so I've got them wrote down properly. Yeah, so this is Dust Storm. This is him with the Energon Weapons attached. This will sort of like detach off here. And he's got a fair bit of articulation in this crane, and it will not exactly turn around because of the way the arms are locked in. So it can go up and down at least anyway. And this arm will extend. There we go. And then this little bit, you can move it up and down. It's only pegged in, and you can open it up so that be a bit of a grabber if you want. Right then, I really don't like this because you can see already the robot legs just here, the little thigh bits. Yeah, it's not very good. I don't really like this one. As you can see, it's sort of like basically a homage to the G1 hook, sort of, but I don't really like it. Anyway, right, so we're going to put him down there. Let's come on to his counterpart, which is Wide Load. Again, like I say, just sort of like obviously different colours and that. It's these bits here that really I don't like in this mode. You can just basically see the legs and that. Yeah, and the robot mode, unfortunately, doesn't get a hell of a lot better. In fact, it's horrible. Right, so we're going to transform this guy. Basically, fold that down. Open the front cab section up like this. And then these back bits to form as heel spurs. Separate them like that. That forms the little legs, as you can see like that. Next thing we're going to do is open up these sections. Oh no, we don't. We need to rotate this section 180 first, like that. Then we're going to rotate these out to the sides. These are going to form his arms. Just fold these little down like that and out and around. The same on this side, just like that. Fold it around, and then basically that forms another arm, which looks ghastly. It's just made up with a crane. And then finally on this section, we just fold this down into position. And then just on the top here, rotate the little thing back like that and straighten up the head. Yeah, see now, and I don't like this at all. It's got a giant arm that's just a crane. It's got no real decent posability. You can move it around pretty good, but it's just too long and, you know, gets in the way of all sorts. And so you've got no really decent places to put it. The other arm is just basically the bottom of his cab on one side with a hole in it for a fist. And these legs just look, oh, they're horrible, and they're just giant feet and can't really pose them too well, and he doesn't want to get into any decent posabilities. Yeah, so it's not the best. Hey, there you go. I've just dropped his Energon weapon, so we're going to come back for that one. We're going to use the one off Dust Storm. So yeah, so you can put the Energon weapon in his fist like that, and it'll open up to be like a pincer or something. And again, the Energon star, sorry about that, will fit in just there on his arm. You know, so it's all right, I suppose, but not a great figure, and definitely not one of my favourites of the line. If I'm not all honest, that's probably one out of all the Energon combiners. That is probably one of my least favourite figures of all. Closely followed by this guy. Mainly for just this mode, though. It's just a shit mode. This is, of course, the Energon combiner Steam Hammer. And he, of course, is like the team leader, and he forms the central body of Constructicon Maximus. It just, I don't know whether this is actually based after a real vehicle or not, but it just looks awful. You've got this giant section up here on these small little tracks. So I mean, obviously it's after a real one, but obviously maybe the tracks are a bit larger. but I suppose just due to the transformation they had to give him tiny little tracks. It does rotate on them, so you could do that on them and everything like that. This front shovel on the thing will open like that, so it can grab, as it would grab and then close like that, I suppose, and also just dig up as well. This arm does have a little bit of articulation, will go up and down. This little blue bit is one of the connectors for when he's in combined mode. Other than that, it doesn't do a lot. The instructions actually show to put these legs on the back here, because these are basically all the legs, in a different position where it just don't look right. This is the best position where you get all the panels lined up and it looks actually pretty good in it. Yeah, so we have the legs at an angle, the thigh bits. So yes, right, let's transform this guy. Got a pretty easy transformation really. It looks complicated, but it's not. First of all, we just open up this little panel on here. There we go, it's just tabbed in. And we do the same on this side, like that. Open that out. Now then I just like to flip it all the way around and close it up. The instructions don't actually say to do that. It actually says to leave it open for robot mode. You could use it, leave it open for an extra bit of stability when he's in robot mode, like as a back heel spur, but you don't really need it. Right, and that is it. We just open these legs out like that. Like so. Flip this whole section, make sure you can all see, down like that. Rotate these legs around like so. That's it, get them into position, like that. Sorry, I just didn't want to click into place there. Right, come up here, rotate this section round, which is the cab section, which is going to form one arm. That will just easily, all right, before I go on, you've got to flip these little grey sections up on both sides. That holds the wheels in position. Then we fold these little sections round. This is going to form one arm, like so. There we are. And then you get this giant arm that comes round and will form his other arm, which is going to be his like crane arm. Then just to finish him off, we come around to the back here. It's a bit hard, but there's a little green sort of section here. You've got to try and get your finger in there and open that. And then just flip up the head into position and then close that back up. And then you come back around there and there's his little robot head revealed, which is pretty good. He does actually have a good robot mode. I was a little bit harsh on this figure when I first got it because I didn't really like the robot mode, but it's grown on me a hell of a lot. Oh, I've nearly forgot to flip out his little feet. There we go. There we are. Yeah, it actually doesn't look too bad, actually. I love the Decepticon sign right in the middle. And this arm, even though it's a... Look, it just looks awful, really, but it does grow on me. Same with this one, really. Yeah, it's all right. You can pose him fairly well enough. Yeah, so actually I do like the robot mode. It's the alt mode that really doesn't grab it for me. I suppose the more you look at them and play with them, the more they do grow on you. But he does look okay, actually. Right, I think that's about it for his robot mode. Now then, I'm going to transform the other guys back into their vehicle modes, because it's a lot easier to get them in for their limb modes for Constructicon Maximus. So I shall be back in a moment. Hi, right, I'm back. I've transformed all the, basically the smaller ones into their vehicle modes, as you can see. It's quite easy, basically, just to get these into the limb modes. It's basically almost like exactly like the G1, where basically you just left them as their vehicles and just added one or two bits and it made a limb, really. I'll come on to them in a minute. This guy is probably the harder of course, all the lot, to try and get into their, well, his torso mode. Right, and we'll start that right away, really. We'll do the easy bits first. We just basically close up the little feet, just like that, and like that. And then, basically just sort of like unclip the middle sort of like portion and then just fold it up like that. So it just accordions up and ends up like that, revealing his little connector piece. And then do the same in this one. It's a little bit problematic sometimes. You don't know exactly what you're doing. And then just basically fit it in, and then it just fits into place like that. And then put it like that. And that is ready. Right, next we open up the arms slightly, which is like that. Get these little grey pieces down, like that. They become sort of like hip protectors, whatever you want to call them. Then we just fold down the little back piece like that, tuck his little robot head away, fold that back up. Then we just open out the arms slightly, and then we get this section with the treads on. And now then, where it's been tabbed into there, there's a little connector just there, and there's a little hole just on that little grey piece just there. That's just got to fold down into position. You've got to angle it down. It's a little bit hard because there's like a little accordion type joint. You just got to push that down and into place, and then it will line up. Basically, it's just a pain in the ass to do it. You don't want to do it now. I've done it easily enough earlier. You don't want to do it now. Why is that? There we go. That's in place. There we go. Right, so once you've done that, just leave this tucked out to the side for a little bit. The next thing we've got to do is try and get these arms in place. Basically, all we do is just fold the black section all the way in. Then we have to spin this around, so it's in this position. Fold this one up. Rotate that into place. And then there's a little, oh, there we go, this is hard. There's a little hole just there on the black section and a little peg just there on the green. They have to match up. It can be a little bit problematic to get it just in right. I was practicing this just now, and it was an absolute bastard to get that in actually, if you're not too sure what you're doing. Right, so once that's in, basically the same again on this side. We fold this in. There we go. Right, no, am I doing this right? Probably not. Here we go, right. This section on the top here has to just come over like that. It's on a double hinge joint. You're probably thinking you can't tell what's going on, but it is virtually a mess back here as it all just folds away. Really compact. Again, there's a little green sort of like little peg there and a little hole just on his arm. That, once you get it lined up just right, it is a pain to get it in there. But once you get it just right, it will all hold together pretty damn well. Then there's a little peg just there, I don't know if you can see it, with a little hole just here on this little piece here. It's really hard to see, but once you've got everything lined up, it should just connect up like that. Then that is it basically, and he's in ready for torso mode. Of course, I've missed the robot head, of course. You just rotate all this all the way back there, and there's his little robot head, Constructicon Maximus's head. Oh, pardon me. Alright, so now he's ready. We're going to pop him down there. We are going to come to Bone Crusher. We are going to make him a leg. I've already transformed him, of course, into vehicle mode. Quite simple. We just rotate this little piece up like that. And that is basically it. We get his little Energon sort of weapon thingy. We just open this all the way out, like so. Then he has two little holes in there and one little tab there. These fit onto these two bits here, like so, and then the tab will fit just in the back there. And it holds together pretty damn well. And that is him in leg mode. Let me just so you can see it. It looks pretty good. I like the front of it there, because it looks like it's got little clawed feet. Put that down to one side. The next guy I'm going to show you is... I always forget their names. This is a wide load, of course. Now, there's a little bit more involved with him. Basically, what you have to do is open this out. He's going to become a leg as well. We open these cab sections up, like we did for robot mode. Then, this piece, keeping it closed, the big section fits into a little hole just on here, like that. And then he's got another tab, which is just there. This is going to connect just in there, like that. Now then, once it's flat, this is how he looks for leg mode. And that is it. I've already done the other two guys. This is, I always forget their names. This is Sledge, and of course he's in arm mode already. Just open, basically the same, just we just close them up really to make it look like a hand. And of course the same for, is it Dust Storm or is it Bone Crusher? It is Dust Storm. This is him in his arm mode, basically. Just exactly the vehicle, just stick this on the end or just open it out, really. There isn't much to it. Right, so now then, we're going to connect all these guys up. Going to put Dust Storm on this arm, like so, and it just basically, like I said before, just connects on. Just push it on, move it like that. Who are we going to go for next? This guy here, which is of course Sledge. And of course he just connects straight in there. Like that, he fits on pretty well. Then who are we going to go for? It is this guy. This guy is, I'm going to remember the names at one point. I think it's Bone Crusher, isn't it? And of course he just fits straight on like that. Move this bit out just away for a minute. Push him out. Oh, I don't want to go in there. There we go, we got him. I thought he was going to get stuck for a minute. And then the last guy to go in is of course this fellow here. Is it wide load? Yeah. He just fits straight in there. And this is Constructicon Maximus. He doesn't look too bad. It'd be better if I turn him around the right way. There we go. So that is Constructicon Maximus. He doesn't look too bad. He's got a few issues. I don't like this giant crane, shovel thing that's blocking his head from one side. It doesn't look as good as to me as Bruticus Maximus, but it's not too bad. I mean, he's still got all the articulation. The legs, it's hard to fold down these legs without the legs coming off sometimes, and especially without the green bits coming off and moving in all sorts of different sort of places. The arms, once this one actually wants to stay attached in there, you know, you can do a bit with it. It can want to just fall apart if you're not too careful, if you're just brazenly playing with it like a little child would. And that's the problem really. These are designed for children and they're going to play with it and it's just going to fall apart after a while. The joints are probably going to come loose where you're attaching all the limbs to him, and then obviously play value just would detract then, which is a shame really, because it's not a bad toy. It's a lot better in my estimations than it was when I first got it out of the box, but it's still not as good as Bruticus Maximus in my opinion. And out of the three of them, this is probably the last number 3, whereas at number 1 would be Bruticus. In the middle would be, of course, the Superior Maximus, who I'm going to review next. Yeah, it's still not a bad toy. Not the best one, definitely, but still a good one. And if you can get it for a good price, I think there's a few different ones of these now. I think there's is it the Universe Constructicons that were releasing this guy, but all in green colours. You know, you might be able to get that if you can still see it. Or you can probably get this guy actually. But still, you know, not a bad toy, but has its faults, but then so do a lot of Transformers. So you just got to be prepared for them, really. Anyway, this has been Graham, Collector 75, and I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.